sit back, relax, and put on your headphones or earphones. You're about to dive into a chilling yet fascinating tale that gripped the nation. This is the story of Charles Manson, a man whose twisted charisma and dark visions turned a group of followers into instruments of terror. Prepare yourself for a journey through the shadowy underbelly of the 1960s counterculture, as we unravel the eerie events that forever changed American history. Charles Manson, born on November 12, 1934, in Cincinnati, Ohio, was a product of a chaotic and tumultuous childhood. His mother, a teenage runaway with a penchant for trouble, was often in and out of jail, leaving young Charles to be raised by various relatives and in foster homes. By his teenage years, Manson had already embarked on a life of crime, with a string of petty thefts and armed robberies that landed him in and out of juvenile detention centers. This unstable upbringing laid the foundation for the man who would become one of the most infamous cult leaders in American history. By the 1960s, Manson had found his way to the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco, a melting pot of countercultural movements. Here, he began to gather a group of followers, mostly young women, whom he manipulated with a potent mix of charisma, drugs, and apocalyptic ideology. This group, known as the Manson family, lived a nomadic lifestyle, traveling across California in search of meaning and purpose. Manson's teachings were an eclectic blend of Scientology, the Bible, and his own twisted interpretations of Beatles lyrics, particularly the song Helter Skelter, which he believed predicted a coming race war. Manson convinced his followers that they were destined to survive this impending apocalypse and would emerge to rule over the survivors. To hasten this race war, he concocted a plan to commit a series of murders that would be blamed on African Americans, thereby inciting the chaos he predicted. In August 1969, this twisted vision culminated in a series of brutal and senseless murders that shocked the nation and forever scarred the American psyche. On the night of August 8, 1969, Manson sent his followers Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian to the home of actress Sharon Tate, who was 8 months pregnant. Her husband, director Roman Polanski, was away in Europe. The followers, under Manson's direction, brutally murdered Tate and 4 others: Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent. The scene they left behind was one of unimaginable horror, with messages like "pigs scrawled in blood" on the wall. The very next night, Manson accompanied his followers to the home of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. After tying up the couple, Manson left, instructing his followers to kill them. The LaBiancas were murdered with equal savagery, and once again, messages in blood were left at the crime scene. These murders were intended to spark the race war Manson had predicted, but instead, they ignited a media frenzy and a massive police investigation. Manson and his followers were arrested later that year, and their trial became one of the most sensational in American history. Manson's bizarre courtroom antics, including carving an X into his forehead and his chilling control over his followers, captivated the public. Prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi meticulously laid out the case, arguing that Manson's influence over his followers was so complete that he was responsible for the murders, even though he did not physically participate. In 1971, Manson and several of his followers were convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder, receiving the death penalty, which was later commuted to life in prison. Charles Manson spent the remainder of his life in prison, where he continued to exert a disturbing influence on a small group of followers and occasionally gave interviews, maintaining his menacing persona. His legacy is a dark reminder of the potential for violence and manipulation within fringe movements and the chilling power of a charismatic leader over the vulnerable. Manson died on November 19, 2017, at the age of 83, but his story endures as a cautionary tale of how one man's delusions can lead to unimaginable horror. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Have a great day.